Hi, Roy here on my channel, Roy Reads Anything.
And me, Dr. Jennie, on his channel, Roy Reads Anything.
It's Dr. Jennie.
Hello!
You've heard her, now you can see her. Up to a point. So, baby steps.
It is a mask. It's not what I really look like. This isn't why I've been hiding my face all these months.
It's the fighting crime by night bit of it. So, we're just going to do a quick recent reads type of thing. Talk about some stuff we've read recently.
Yeah.
So, I've got a couple of things, so I guess I'll start. You can be
go on.
You can be the filling in the sandwich.
Tasty filling in the boring bread.
So, I've read Love Story by Eric Segal. So, this is a famous book that came out in 1970.
Blimey, was it that long ago?
Yeah, and this is 50th anniversary edition. And it's nice. It's a nice book, physically nice book. It's got some little extras, so I think maybe that's what I'm going to do in future. Wait 50 years. I want to read something. Wait 50 years for the ideal version to come out. I remember back in the day this being a phenomenon. One of those like everybody's reading it type of things, as added with the film as the added thing as well. And the myth at the time was that Eric Segal was like this literature professor who'd almost for a bet decided to try and write a bestseller, and he had, which appealed to us as sort of snarky sixth formers that someone had got one over. But I think that's either a massive oversimplification or simply not true. Anyway, stuff that surprised me is how small it is. It's virtually just a novella. I guess that's because I'm used to big popular bestsellers being chunks as well, sort of airport novels. So this is very rapid fire,
slender.
Yes, I mean it's okay. Coming back to the book, they've reprised some of the classic branding. So a design based on the love sculpture that's in Philadelphia.
So was that
we've been to?
We have indeed. Was that original to the book? The fact that it had got the love sculpture from Philadelphia.
Well, every old book I've seen has this sort of lettering.
Which came first then?
I don't know. I think the sculpture.
Story.
Yeah. I mean, lots of the books were film tie-ins, and that was a huge thing. I mean, one thing about it is, to me, it reads a bit like a novelisation. So it's almost like it's a novelisation of itself.
Because I think I first read it serialised in a woman's magazine, which would have probably been The Woman or The Woman's Own, because my Auntie Joan used to give me her back copies.
Right.
And because I was missing a couple of episodes, I borrowed it from the library and read it as a book, I think.
Okay. Well,
either that or I've just made that up completely.
Yeah, that's also possible. So it's got this reputation as being like this fabulous romance book, and has to make you cry. It's going to deliver the crying, and I think for me that kind of passed over me, and that's partly about knowing pretty much what's going to happen. But I don't know.
It has got one of the crappiest quotes of all time in it as well.
What
love means never having to say you're sorry. Yeah, right.
Yeah. It sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
What does it mean? It means nothing.
Well, I wasn't planning to live my life by it. I just wanted to entertaining book.
Say sorry just right now.
It's very well done. It's good. It's witty. The characters, especially the female character, are very absorbing. It rattles along. It's very, like I say, very filmic. I think I could imagine professional romance writers, when this was like selling millions of copies, thinking, ripping up their lace doilies and spitting out their violet creams, because I could have written this standing on my head and whistling a merry tune. A romance writer might have said. Yeah. But did they? Anyway, glad I've done it because it's a cultural icon. Didn't quite do it for me. Perhaps I've got a heart of stone rather than a heart of flesh. So, how about you, Dr. Jennie?
How about me?
Now visible, all those people who thought it was a ventriloquism act.
Yeah, ventriloquism act where the ventriloquist was
invisible. Yeah,
invisible. Like they used to have ventriloquists on the radio. And tap dancing troops, which I just think is brilliant. And all you could hear was the music and the tap dancing. But,
simpler times.
Simpler times, yeah. So I have had a bit of a struggle to find myself enjoying any books recently, but I've broken my streak with a fine and very exciting fantasy book called The Adventures of Amina al-Sirafi, which is written by Shannon Chakraborty. He's a US writer of fantasy. And she's writing about the...
Can the little partners see the nice cover?
Oh, the little partners can see the nice cover. It's got a lovely cover. Pretty. Is it the right way or?
Yeah.
Pretty.
It will be. I'll fix that in the editing.
Pretty. So it's set in medieval world of the Indian Ocean, maritime ness, trade and piracy and stuff like that. And Amina al-Sirafi, the main character, is a former pirate, but she's retired and she's now living off-grid with her mum and her daughter because Amina doesn't want her past as a pirate to catch up with her and impact on her mum and her daughter. So they're kind of living solitary. And a woman comes to see her who is the mother of one of Amina's former crew who died in horrible circumstances, and Amina feels the responsibility of that death. And the grandmother comes and offers her bucket loads of cash. Bucket loads. Like enough for her to never have to do anything ever again. Because she'd have all bucket loads, I tells you. To find the woman who's offering her the buckets wants Amina to go and find the daughter of this crewman who Amina feels responsible for the death of. And the daughter is obviously the granddaughter of the woman, because the woman who's come with the blah, blah. Anyway, yeah. Go and find my granddaughter.
That story, is it?
Yeah. She's been kidnapped. She's been kidnapped by a very bad man. A Frank, so he would have been from France, one of the Germanic tribes.
So it's real world.
So it's real world.
Fantasy.
It's not an alternative reality. It's real world. It's got real magic in it. And the author explains at the end of it that magic was a very real and important presence in medieval Islam, and that things like astrology were absolutely the basis of what people would be, how they'd be making decisions, and the world of the jinn and the peri and monsters and demons and stuff like that were very real presences. And in this, they're a little bit more real, but it's not like this is one of the things I found the most interesting about it was at the end, which I got to. It's a fantastic book, rattles along, it's really fast, packs in a lot of plot. It's got one or two little infelicities that every book I ever read at the moment seems to have, slightly misused words and stuff like that, but that just seems to be the way with the young people. But at the end of it, Shannon Chakraborty gives a list of not all the books that she used for the research into the medieval maritime life of the Indian Ocean and of Islamic nations and their boats and their pirates and all the rest of it. But she gives a kind of indicative reading list. And it's massive. It's just like, quickly in the space of about 10 pages, recommends like 100 books that you can read to learn all that she learned. So it's obviously really well researched. There's somebody at the door.
There is. Carry on.
Shall I carry on?
You might as well.
So when Roy's out the room, I shall tell you secret things. Either that, or I will wait to see what he comes. Might be a parcel. It's usually a parcel.
There you go. Thank you.
Is it a birthday present for me? It was my birthday yesterday. I'm ever so old. 69. 69! But he bought me this for my birthday, amongst many, many other things. But it is absolutely delightful. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. Ooh. He's lovely. I do love him. What was it, dearest? Is
household items.
Oh.
So yes, parcels.
But not presents for me.
We're not going to do unboxing of some dust sheets, I don't think.
But yeah, The Adventures of Amina al-Sirafi, it's the first of a series. It then promises to be a fun ride. If you like that sort of thing, it's well researched. And if you're interested, read it. It's fab. I loved it. Really loved it. Couldn't stop reading it. And I haven't felt like that's about a book for a while.
No, good. I mean, you're going to stop bringing dead mice into the house that you caught out on the cornfields.
I don't know, I might. You never know with me.
Okay, so now I've often said on this channel how great The Woman in White is. Wilkie Collins' sensation novel, a Victorian classic, and I think Ollie was talking about it as well. You know, it's a Woman in White, really good. It's like it's gothic, but without supernatural. Generally fantastic. So when you read a good book, what do you want most of all? Modern day sequels. And what's even better is a series of modern day sequels. So the one of the main characters in this, Marian Halcombe, is a fantastic character. She is the one who does most of the sort of detecting. She's heroic. She's kind of non-standard in that she's not like a standard beauty. She's actually been described as very mannish. And back at the time when there was a craze for the woman in white in the Victorian era, people loved Marian Halcombe. Some guy named a boat after her and stuff like that. So a series, Marian Halcombe series, The Thrilling Victorian Adventures of the Most Dangerous Woman in Europe. How exciting is that? So
I'm beside myself.
And they're on Kindle as well. So yeah, I didn't really know what to expect. I mean, yes, I do like that kind of thing, but obviously modern day sequels taking Victorian characters and riffing on them, not necessarily your guarantee of quality, but this was really fun. Again, well researched. It has lots of sort of Easter eggs and links to real things happening in the time. The characters are reading some of the serials and books that were published in that period. Makes you wonder whether the woman in white exists in this story. And it's got classic sensation fiction elements, bigamy, dubious identities, all that kind of stuff, and we get to see Marian Halcombe sort of strutting her stuff. Yeah, this is really good. There's lots of them. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the others. The most dangerous woman in Europe. Oh yeah, there's anarchists as well. All the things that were thrilling the hearts of Victorians, we can thrill to them again.
Hooray!
So, oh blimey, I was so excited we went blurry.
Hooray again!
So Marian Halcombe. Marian Halcombe is something I've read. So, yeah, well, we've done the allotted 15 minutes.
Can I just do a little tiny bit?
Yeah,
Talking about little tiny things like me.
We told people you were
the size of
tall.
Mrs. Pepperpot. Talking of the size of Mrs. Pepperpot, I found my old Kindle, so I got a Kindle Scribe recently. Can you hold your Scribe up? Which is, it's great, I love it, but I found my old Kindle. Look how tiny.
You can't go home again.
Tiny.
I know, it's like we were reading postcards.
Matchboxes. Books printed on matchboxes.
How did it even work? So that wasn't even a paperweight, that was like...
No, that was like the cheapest I could
Generation 1 when they were on papyrus scrolls or something.
No, not quite that. But it was about 50 quid. It's got no built-in lights or anything.
Oh, right.
You can't take it out in the dark. But it will serve a purpose for me.
Steam powered. Well, yeah, they've all got to still use my older ones.
Yeah.
Right then.
I love technology, it's great.
So, this is our experimental format, number 53. Hopefully it works. If everyone's run away screaming or something, then maybe not.
Oh dear.
Maybe the council will be round with a protection order for the rare species of birds. Right.
What goes on in your head?
I think we'll say goodbye. For now, back soon with something
I know you go.
else.